Gordo got you M&Ms. I think there's something else in there too, Kai. Kai, then they shoot water out. They shoot water out of their hands. Put your hand on my hair. I'll bend you back.
Okay, blow it out. Blow it out. Blow it out. You got a big blow. Good job, guys.
There's one over there. I just don't know why he's not holding the handle.
Oh, you dropped all your eggs.
Uh-oh. You want me to show you how to hold it, love? Yeah. There's the handle. Right there. So just hold that.
And it won't come over. There you
Do you
go.
see any more?
Keep looking.
Lily, stop boiling. Let's go look over by the trees.
Let's go over here.
I see it! I see it!
You see?
What's up? My name is Malachi. I'm 26 years old, and Kylan is my son. I'm his father.
I was 21 when I had him, but I was 20 the entire time I was pregnant up until like the last month or two. It was an interesting process because he definitely wasn't planned. So it was a lot of, I accepted it pretty quickly, but it was a lot of having the people around me accept it too. Because I don't necessarily come from a family that like having a baby out of wedlock is like the best. It's just, yeah.
Don't remember. 23, 3 years old.
3 years ago.
Yeah. I was 23. What was the second question? I'm sorry.
And how was that process of when you found out?
I was terrified. I don't know, like time stopped as soon as I heard it. And, I was always, my mom and, all my family was like, don't have a child till you're ready, blah, blah, blah. Obviously he wasn't planned. So when it happened, it was instant fear and just like, yeah, it's just scary. So, yeah.
A lot of the people that I know, when like they're co-parenting with someone, they're kind of like, oh yeah, screw that guy. I don't even like him. I want nothing to do with him. He's awful. But Malachi and I are like, we're still best friends. We're just two people that thought we'd end up together and didn't.
I think co-parenting, the biggest thing is it kind of makes you not selfish. You can't be selfish and be a co-parent because at the end of the day, it's not about the parents, it's about the kid. And if they aren't happy, then you're doing something wrong. So scheduling has always been, difficult. We work, 2 different schedules. I work a few different jobs, so trying to schedule things hasn't been the easiest. And then, distance sucks. We are pretty far from each other. So I would say that's a big thing that we've, kind of had to learn to work with, those two in particular.
How did Easter Bunny get in? Easter Bunny get in.
Maybe. Hey, Kai, there's one more.
There's one more.
Like, all of them have been placed down low. Let's look up high.
Look up.
Look up.
Look in the sky.
He's like, what are you talking
Look
about?
in the sky.
What are you talking about?
hold your basket and Polly can lift you up so you can.
Right now it's interesting, especially because I am married to a woman. So it's like he was like, oh, do I have like 2 moms? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, and also a daddy? And I said, yeah. And but he doesn't like really get it. It's not going to be any different for him when he gets older, because that's like, I mean, she's been in his life, even like when we were just friends, in his life since he was like 1. So she's been around for a while. So it won't be different for him really, because it'll be something he's always known.
Well, if we do it the right way, I don't think he'll care. I think it'll be a normal thing to him. I don't worry too much about what I think we'll instill in him, you know, what he needs. I think the only thing that I think of just being a dad is when he does get in school and stuff like that, other people are going to have different opinions. So I just want to make sure that he is safe in himself, you know, confident in what his family and his relationship looks like with his parents. And then all the outside stuff, you know, just kind of let him know that that's not important. So single father's interesting. I'm kind of like Drake, you know, like Drake is single. He has a beautiful son. They obviously aren't together with him and his mom, but I don't know. I feel like it's interesting as far as like the dating aspect, me dating. I think it's for women to date a man with a child, it's different. There's another aspect. Personally, I've grown from having a child. I am way more responsible than I was before. I think how I love someone is a lot different now. But it's not a bad thing. Being a single father is fun. I have an awesome son, and he makes me happy. So.
1, 2, 3, 4. Kylan.
Where's some more? Look around.
Yes.
I think we have 2 more, but I think the Easter Bunny was sneaky with the last 2. Maybe look up in the sky and look down low. Maybe cheese.
You're looking around. Looks away.
Cheese. You have 2 seconds to take a picture of your phone.
But yeah.
Do you wish you spent more time with Kyle?
Yes, I do. It's really hard, especially working as a teacher in the SPED department. It's a very mentally taxing job, and physically too. And I feel like at the end of the day, I'm just like absolutely exhausted, and I come home and he's here and he just wants to play, but I'm just so tired. So I try and do fun things that we can do like that aren't too high energy, but I do feel like I do wish I spent more time with him, especially when he was little, because he spent a lot of time, still kind of spends a lot of time with my mom, who was my child, or is my childcare, and they're like really close, and so he's super attached to her and like doesn't want to leave her house sometimes, and it doesn't feel good when that happens, but I do wish I would have spent more time with him.
All the time. I mean, there's not a day when I don't have him where it's like, you know, what's he doing? I try not to. I'm very closed off for the most part. I don't. And you know, in the past, I've been not the greatest person to communicate with, just because I don't know. I like to be alone in some aspect, but. With him, like you can't be closed off. A kid needs you to be there, needs you to be responsive, you know, smiling, happy. And Kylan doesn't care about, you know, what happened at work per se. Like, you know, he's not worried about what I did at work. So whenever I'm with him, I need to be, you know, if not 100%, as, you know, as much percent as I can be. So, Being a co-parent allows you to be, I think, flexible. There are things that you can do when you're a co-parent, things you can't do. I feel like I've learned to value my time with him more. Whereas if, he was around me all the time, I may not have, some days just be like, oh, like I'll see him, But with co-parenting, when I do have him, I just make sure that every day he is having fun, the best times, and I'm being a good father, so.
We have gotten together for like dinners or like even just like had somebody watch Kylan and we get together and like really sit down and say like, okay, so this is what we don't like about the situation that's going on right now and this is what we need to fix. Like when I felt like I wasn't getting much help financially and that we sat down and I was like, look, I am gonna need some help paying for the stuff that he needs. A sub salary is not real great. So being able to communicate like, okay, well, I feel like he needs more time with you. Here's the new schedule we're gonna do. Well, let's sit down and figure it out. And so we've been pretty good at communicating what we think is not working and what we think is working. No, I don't. I mean, we all have, like, pretty much any relationship you'll have, like, even if it's a friend or, like, in an actual relationship, we still have those moments where we kind of, like, butt heads and, like, have different opinions, or I feel a certain way and he doesn't, or, like I also am a very emotional person, so I have big feelings, and I will let you know those big feelings. So we do have, like, rough moments, but I don't dislike him.
There's no grudges. I mean, everything happens for a reason. I mean, unfortunately, things didn't work out, but there's just no room to hate. Personally, I think if you're still hating, though, like I grew up in a single mother household. My mom and my father split before they were ever married, so I grew up hearing not the greatest things about my father, and that made me resent him. And I didn't even talk to him before that, so I didn't know his sides. There's always two sides. So knowing that's how I grew up, I want to make sure that's completely different. Obviously, my father was in my life, but with me, it's going to be completely different. I will be there for him whenever and however he needs me to be. There's no grudge, animosity, none of that. It's really just all love. I love my son. I love his mom, and I'm thankful for her, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have him. So there's no.